Hi everybody, my name is Tamika. This is my second YouTube video. This is my daughter Talyn, and I just wanted to come with you guys, come to YouTube and tell my birth story about my daughter. Her name is Talyn Denise Rivera. She was born on August 9th, 2012. She was born at 1:55 in the morning at 20 inches long. The day I had her, with her I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes, and my doctor didn't want me to go past 39 weeks. So the day that I had her, I went in for just a normal checkup, thinking that I wasn't going to be induced that day. But I went to the doctor's for a checkup with my boyfriend's mother, and we come to find out I was 3 centimeters induced, and the doctor wanted to keep me that day. So they ended up keeping me. I went to the, got my room ready. They got my room ready for me, and I ended up being induced that day. They gave me the couple hours after I was checked at my appointment. They gave me, and this was at maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe after 3, like at 5:30, they started the Pitocin. Now mind you, when I went to the doctors, I was 3 centimeters and I had no pain, nothing. I didn't know that I was, that I was dilated, should I say. They put me on the stress test, and that's when I started having contractions. Before then, like I said, I didn't have any contractions. Once they put me on the stress test, I started feeling it. And I was like, okay, figured when I go to the doctors, I would have contractions. So around 5:30, they gave me the Pitocin. And that's when the contractions really started. Of course, it induces your labor, but the contractions, I can say, weren't that bad in the beginning, and then towards the end, towards a little later on, of course they got really bad. There was about 2-3 times that I had really bad contractions, and then at one point in time, her head was not all the way facing down, so they had me get on my knees and face my back towards the wall or towards everybody, and just shake my hips so that I can readjust her head to get it lowered. I did that for about 2 hours, more than one time. That helped out. They checked me again, her head was lower. Then once I was 5 centimeters, they asked me if I wanted the epidural, and of course I wanted the epidural. I was not going natural. Hold on. Okay, honey, alright. So they gave me the epidural. Well, they started the process, and me and needles, I'm not scared of them. I don't think about the pain, so I'm good with needles. It didn't hurt to me to get the epidural. As soon as they put it in, I just felt like a rush of, I guess, numbingness from my hips down to my legs. And as soon as they put the epidural in, my doctor had broke my water, but as soon as they put it in, my water had broke more, and it just gushed everywhere. Sorry if that's TMI, but my water broke everywhere. And during the epidural, I was having contractions as well, and they were kind of strong. But the epidural went fine. Right after the doctor put the epidural in, He goes, "Oh, I did it right the first time." Now, in my head, I'm like, why did you just say that? Apparently, they don't get it right every time. But good thing he got it right the first time, and I didn't have to, go through that more than once. So that went okay, and he was flirting with the nurse. Them two were just flirting the whole time. I was like, okay, wow. Took about, I think, like half an hour for that to take effect. After that, I had no pain, none whatsoever. I mean, I felt pressure, of course, but there was no pain. There was times when the doctors went, they wanted me to start pushing, and you're supposed to feel like you have to go to the bathroom, that kind of pressure. And there was times I didn't even feel that. So they was like, okay, let's just try it. Let's just have you push. So, and when you have a contraction, you're supposed to push against the contraction. They could they could see that I was having contractions on the monitor, but I couldn't feel them. They were so minute or little. So there were times they had to tell me, okay, I see one, start pushing. So I had to push against the contractions. I pushed, I don't know for how long, but I did it twice. You push 1, 2, 3, they count to 10. Then you stop and you do it again. And I did that for 2 hours straight, pushing this girl out. Let me tell you, it was it was a crazy experience, painful, of course. I would say that the whole labor lasted no more than 6 hours. From the time I got there to the time she was born. From the time they started inducing me to the time she was born. Once I gave birth to her, after the 2 hours, come to find out, I tore. She gave me 2nd-degree tears. Once she was born, the doctor was on her way out the door, headed home. And then my midwife noticed that I had tears, so she had to come back and stitch me up. Now that took an hour to an hour and a half just to stitch me up. And the epidural, I still had the epidural, but it was wearing off. So every once in a while, I would feel the needle going through my lady parts down there, and it did not feel good. So once that was done, everything was okay. Then later on in the day, or night, that day she was born, or early morning the next morning, it came time for me to go to the bathroom, urinate. When I tell you, when I went to the bathroom, I could not urinate for anything. Like, I tried everything to go to the bathroom, and I couldn't go. I turned the lights off, I ran the water to kind of create, you see her laughing, to kind of create like a spa, soothing kind of environment in the bathroom, and it didn't work. So they had to give me a catheter to make me go to the bathroom. Now, when I tell you they had to give me a catheter, the epidural had worn off. So, imagine, excuse me, imagine, okay. Imagine a tube going through a hole this big, yeah, with no pain medication, nothing. Girl, that was the worst pain I ever felt. I screamed at the top of my lungs so loud. I swear the people across the street could hear me because it hurt. It hurt so bad. I swear that pain was the worst pain compared to labor and delivery. I think that pain was worse, to be honest. And then once I was at the point where, okay, they had it in, they were getting there, putting it in, and I wanted them to stop. It was so bad, but I had to release my urine, or else I could have got infected. They're like, oh, do you want me to stop? I'm like, no, just keep going, I'm already going through this pain, just hurry up and finish. Once they did that, I had so much urine, I had to fill up. I filled up one bag, and they put another bag on. I filled up 2 bags of urine. It was so crazy. After that, they were like, okay, we can only do it one time, so we're going to take this down. You're going to have to, try to go on your own. I was like, okay. For the whole 3 days I was in the hospital, I was so scared to go to the bathroom because it hurt so bad. And my lady parts, they were so swollen. They give you pads, they give you ice packs, they give you these Tux pads. I got hemorrhoids, of course, from pushing. Those are supposed to relieve the pain and itchiness. I put those on. And if this is your first delivery, or if you haven't, had a child before, this is kind of a little bit of information on what can happen to you in your situation. When you wear those pads and the ice packs and the Tux pads, it feels like you have not 1 but 2 diapers on. It's hard to walk, and it's not comfortable at all. I was at the hospital for about 3 days. I had the best experience at the hospital that I went to. Anytime I needed pain medication, anytime I needed something to drink, eat, they brought it to me. They never said no to me. They treated me with respect, and they were every nurse, any nurse, doctor, pediatrician, down to like the dietary aides, they were all nice to me. So I would definitely have, if I do have another child, have the baby at that same hospital. So I went home after 3 days. 2.5 days later, after I have the baby, I'm home. Everybody's coming over to visit and see her. I catch pneumonia. Yeah. I didn't know what was going on. I did turn on the air conditioning when I got home because it was so hot. I had her almost in the middle of August. Beginning of August. And so the only thing that was wrong with me was I couldn't breathe. I have asthma, and my asthma was acting up really bad. So I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, can I use your inhaler? I didn't have one at the time, and I didn't have a prescription. It was midnight, and there was no one that could write me a prescription. So I called my dad up. My boyfriend, he got the inhaler for me, and then it just kept getting worse. So I called the nurses. They tell me, ask me a whole bunch of questions, and they tell me, okay, you need to go to the hospital. So I go to the hospital. I'm in the ER. They take me right away. I told them I just had a baby, and of course they're gonna take me right away because it could be something related to the birth. They gave me all kind of EKGs. I go into that machine, the circular machine where they look at your whole body. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of it. Just all kind of tests, and come to find out I have pneumonia. So I had to stay in the hospital for 4 days after I had my baby. Um, they didn't know what kind of pneumonia it was, and to this day, I still don't know what kind of pneumonia it was. Um, and this was like almost 5 weeks ago. Um, they were thinking it was bacterial, but they didn't know if it was viral pneumonia. Excuse me, my nose. When you have viral pneumonia, it's serious. I mean, it's very, anyone can catch it. You have to be basically quarantined. Um, so I was in a portion of the hospital where they quarantined me. Anyone that came in to visit me had to wear a mask and put on this whole ridiculous suit, gloves, whatever have you. Which I understand, so that nobody catches it, but I just felt like, I felt weird. Like, really, why are you, excuse me, why are you treating me like, or why do I have to be basically quarantined like this? But it's what they had to do. If I did have viral pneumonia, that's the protocol. So 4 days of torture in the hospital. I couldn't see my daughter. I didn't want her to come to the hospital because it wasn't a safe place with all the bacteria and what have you there. So I couldn't see her. No one can bring her to me. I didn't get many visitors. I mean, my boyfriend came, my mom, my sisters, and my little nephew, 4-year-old nephew. But that's it. After that, I went home. When I was home, I had to wear a mask and gloves around my daughter so that I didn't get her sick. We waited for weeks for the results on the test, and I don't know if they came back. I asked my doctor, if they came back or not, and she's like, just wait, because they haven't come in yet. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Apparently it wasn't viral, because if it was, people around me would have gotten sick. And they treated me as if it was bacterial, and apparently it was bacterial. So after a couple of days, about 3 days after I was home from that situation, I got better. And things have been great since then. And that's pretty much my birth story. I mean, if you guys have any questions or any comments or whatever, definitely just go ahead. You can ask me anything you want about it. If you want to post your birth story, you can go ahead and respond to this. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. But that's my birth story. Just wanted to come and, share it with you all. Thank you, and give me your comments or replies, questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Have a good day. Bye.